Welcome back. A former U.S. Marine is fighting for his life inside a Russian prison. The family of Robert Gilman says he's been tortured, forced to take mind-altering drugs, and is now in a catatonic state. The Trump administration is urging Russia to release him before it's too late. Correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is live in Washington with the latest on this story. Lucas?
Good afternoon, Will. And that former U.S. Marine has been jailed in Russia for the past 4 years and allegedly been tortured and injected with mind-altering drugs. Former head of the U.S. government's hostage fusion cell says the 32-year-old Massachusetts native is currently being fed through a feeding tube.
Robert Gilman is by far one of the worst cases I've seen when it comes to how the Russians are treating Americans in prison. The fact that he is in a near catatonic state, and again, we believe he's at risk of death, is just frightening for this family.
White House and State Department have urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to release Gilman. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reportedly raised the issue when he met with his Russian counterpart in the Philippines last month. Gilman's sister Lexi said in a statement, quote, "I am more afraid for my brother than I have since this horrible nightmare started. I'm worried that he could die." Gilman was arrested in Russia while on his way to a new job in Moldova. Russian authorities accused him of assaulting a police officer while drunk on a train, something his family denies. He is currently being held 340 miles south of Moscow.
Quite honestly, we were afraid he may already be dead or he may not come out of this.
Gilman is one of at least 10 Americans currently being held in Russia since the conflict with Iran began in February. War Secretary Pete Hegseth has accused Russia of helping Iran wage war against U.S. forces and allies in the region, Will.
All right. Thank you, Lucas. Now to growing concerns about Russia's next move. The Wall Street Journal reports Putin could try to test NATO's resolve with a limited assault on an allied country in the next few years, according to U.S. intelligence reports that posit possible scenarios from a cyber attack to a small-scale land incursion. The assessments described by U.S. officials come amid a shortfall of certain critical munitions the military would need to confront Russia or China in a potential future war. But when it comes to munition stockpiles, President Trump says there's no reason to worry.
We have certain types of munitions that are very powerful, that we have unlimited, virtual unlimited supply. We have others where it's a little bit tighter, and we're getting them in on a daily basis. We have literally massive amounts of ammunition.
As those warnings emerge, an alarming discovery out of Germany. A drone carrying explosives was found at a major airport that supports NATO operations and Ukrainian supply networks. It was discovered by a bus driver who lawmakers say kicked the low-flying drone out of the air before it could detonate. Top German officials say it marks a dangerous new threat and have launched a counterterrorism investigation to find out who was behind it. All right, joining me now is former Army Special Operations Intelligence Analyst and drone expert Brett Velicovich. Brett, good to see you. Here's what got my attention about this story, Brett, and why I want to talk about with you. Is this the rising obviousness of drones as a weapon now to be used in any theater of war? How serious should we take this story out of Germany? And I have to tell you, the detail that a bus driver kicked it out of the air makes me really question that seriousness. How serious is this story in Germany?
Well, it's very serious, Will, and this really shouldn't surprise anyone who's been paying attention to modern warfare lately. I've watched drones evolve from battlefield reconnaissance tools into precision strike weapons over the last decade, but it's only been accelerated exponentially even more in the last couple of years. What happened in Germany demonstrates that the same technology changing wars overseas is now showing up around civilian infrastructure. You no longer need a sophisticated missile program or some massive terrorist network to create strategic disruption. A commercially available drone modified with explosives and flown by someone miles away can shut down an international airport. It can disrupt military logistics. It can create worldwide headlines. And that's exactly why drones have become the weapon of choice for both nation states and non-state actors. And I've spent years watching drones change warfare overseas. And my real concern isn't what happened in Germany. It's that Americans will watch it on television, kind of shrug and assume it can't happen here. And that's exactly the mindset our adversaries are counting on. Americans shouldn't think this is purely a European problem. That same drone technology is available everywhere. We have thousands of airports, oil facilities, ports, critical infrastructure, stadiums. They all face similar vulnerabilities, and we need urgency. We've got these hard lessons learned from watching these conflicts overseas. The advantage here is that we shouldn't be waiting until tragedy strikes to act. We already know what the threat looks like, and we need to set up our defenses now.
Is there any technological hurdle, any technological barrier? I mean, when you see something like this out of Germany, do you think nation-state actor, or just this is not much above consumer drones that you can buy and arm them with cheap explosives?
I think we are so far behind on our domestic production. This is a major issue. You have all these other countries that are churning out drones in the thousands, tens of thousands per month, and we are so far behind. And it's not a technology problem. It's a federal government contracting problem. We've had decades where we have not focused on this massive scale, and every single day we delay pouring more money into our domestic drone industry, the threat gets cheaper, it gets smarter, it gets more accessible. You know, domestically we spent years sort of treating drones primarily as like there's some sort of nuisance, something that maybe interrupts a flight or invades privacy. But meanwhile, our adversaries, they viewed them as precision guided weapons. You've got Iran, ISIS, the Houthis, Russia, everyone's fighting modern conflicts. They've demonstrated what these drones can do. And so we've got to really protect our critical infrastructure with counter drone defenses. And we need to start creating an industrial base here that can churn these things out in the thousands like many of these other countries have been doing for years.
All right, Brett Velicovich, thanks so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.